Lila thought she knew her husband. 5 years together, 3 years married, until the night she walked into an upscale restaurant and heard a waiter call his name at table 5. But the woman who answered wasn't her. She was wearing an engagement ring, and Gabriel was holding her hand like he'd done it 1,000 times before. What started as a dinner reservation would unravel into 6 months of lies, a secret marriage, and a choice that would change everything. This is the story of what happens when the person you trust most becomes a stranger across a candlelit table. Welcome back, beautiful souls. Before we begin, I want to honor your presence here. Wherever you are in the world, whatever brought you to this moment, may you find strength in truth and courage in the face of deception. If this story speaks to you, please take a moment to like, subscribe, and comment where you're watching from. Your support keeps these stories alive. Now, let's begin. The reservation list sits open on the host stand. Lila's finger stops mid-scroll. Gabriel Reeves, table 5, 7:30 p.m., party of 2. Her husband's name, his reservation. Tonight. She pulls her hand back. The host is still looking at someone else, still directing them toward the bar. Lila steps sideways, closer to the wall, closer to the narrow corridor that leads past the kitchen toward the main dining room. Gabriel told her he'd be working late. Server migration. Critical window. He'd kissed her forehead at 6:15, briefcase already in hand, his voice tired but steady. Don't wait up. She wasn't supposed to be here either. Nadia had texted 20 minutes ago. Last-minute opening at Marcello's, the place they'd been trying to get into for months. Lila had changed quickly, called an Uber, left her phone charging on the kitchen counter because the battery was at 4%. She moves past the host stand. The dining room opens in soft gold light. White tablecloths, low voices, silverware against porcelain. Table 5 is near the back corner. 2 people, one facing her direction. Not Gabriel, a woman. Dark hair swept over one shoulder, emerald dress. Lila can see her hands resting on the table, fingers laced loosely, a ring catching light. The man across from her has his back turned. Broad shoulders, dark suit jacket. Brown hair trimmed close at the neck. Lila stops beside a column. A waiter approaches their table with a wine bottle. He angles it for inspection. The man nods without looking up from the menu. The waiter pours. 2 glasses. Then he sets the bottle down and his voice carries across the quiet room. Mr. Reeves, should I bring the chef's tasting menu or would you prefer to order individually? The man's hand lifts in a brief gesture. We'll order. Lila knows that hand. The way the fingers spread slightly when he makes a decision. The tilt of his wrist. Gabriel. The woman across from him smiles. She reaches forward and touches his hand where it rests beside the menu. Her fingertips trace the edge of his thumb. He doesn't pull away. Thank you for tonight, the woman says. Her voice is softer than the waiter's, but Lila hears it clearly. I know the renovations have been stressful. Gabriel's head tilts slightly. We're almost through it. Lila's breath stops somewhere in her chest. She presses her palm flat against the column. The waiter returns to their table with bread. He sets it between them, then straightens. And congratulations again on the engagement. The ring is stunning. The woman's smile widens. She lifts her left hand, turning it slightly so the ring catches the light. Thank you. We're very excited. Gabriel says something Lila can't hear. The woman laughs. Light. Easy. Lila's hand slides down the column. Her fingernails catch against the painted surface. Someone brushes past her, a server with a tray. Lila steps back, but her heel catches the edge of a chair. The chair scrapes. Not loud, but enough. Gabriel's head turns. His face comes into view. Same jaw, same mouth, same eyes that looked at her this morning across the kitchen counter while she poured his coffee. Those eyes find her now. His expression doesn't change. Not immediately. For 2 seconds, maybe 3, he simply looks at her. Recognition without reaction. Then his hand moves. Slowly. He sets down his wine glass. His fingers uncurl from the stem. The woman across from him is still talking, still smiling, oblivious. Lila steps backward. 1 step, then another. Gabriel's mouth opens slightly. No sound comes out. She turns and walks. The hostess asks if she's okay. Lila hears the words but doesn't stop. She pushes through the front door and the cold outside air hits her face. Her phone is at home, still charging, still silent. She walks 3 blocks before her legs decide they're finished. She sits down on a bench outside a closed bookstore. Her hands are shaking. She presses them between her knees. A couple walks past. The woman is laughing. The man has his arm around her waist. Lila closes her eyes. When she opens them, a bus is pulling up to the stop across the street. She stands and crosses before the light changes. The apartment is dark when she unlocks the door. She doesn't turn on the lights. She walks straight to the bedroom and pulls her suitcase from the closet. Her hands move on autopilot. Jeans, shirts, underwear, socks. She doesn't fold anything, just fills the suitcase until the zipper barely closes. Her phone is still on the kitchen counter. 3 missed calls, all from Gabriel. She picks it up. The screen lights her face in the dark kitchen. She doesn't unlock it. She sets it back down. The front door opens. Lila doesn't turn around. She hears his keys hit the bowl on the entry table. His footsteps stop in the doorway to the kitchen. Lila. She grips the edge of the counter. Lila, please, let me explain. She turns. Gabriel is still in his suit jacket. His tie is loosened. His face is pale. Explain what? Her voice sounds strange, thin. Explain the reservation? The wine? The ring on her hand? He takes a step forward, stops when she steps back. It's not... He runs his hand through his hair. It's complicated. Complicated. Yes. You're engaged. His jaw tightens. It's not real. The laugh that comes out of her is sharp enough to cut. She seemed pretty real to me. The waiter seemed pretty convinced. Lila, how long? He closes his eyes. 6 months. 6 months. Half a year. Christmas. New Year's. Her birthday in February. Get out. He doesn't move. This is my apartment. Then I'll leave. She walks past him. He catches her arm. His grip is gentle but firm. Don't. His voice cracks slightly. Please, just listen. She pulls free. I saw you. I saw her. I heard the waiter congratulate you on your engagement. It's business. Business. Her father owns the development company we've been trying to partner with. He wouldn't sign unless... Gabriel stops, swallows. Unless there was a family connection. Lila stares at him. So you propose to his daughter? It's a contract arrangement. She knows. Her father knows. It's temporary. Does your wife know? His face changes. Something sharp passes behind his eyes. You're my wife. Am I? She looks at his left hand. No ring. There hasn't been a ring for 3 months. He said it was getting resized. When were you going to tell me? When it was over. When's that? After the wedding? After the honeymoon? There's no wedding. It's paperwork. An understanding. An understanding. She picks up her phone. Does she understand you have a wife? Or am I the complicated part you haven't mentioned yet? Gabriel's silence is answer enough. Lila picks up her suitcase from where she left it by the bedroom door. Gabriel moves to block her path. She stops. waits. Where are you going? Nadia's. Don't do this. Please. Give me a chance to fix this. Fix it? She looks at him. Really looks at him. Same face she's known for 5 years, married for 3. How do you fix 6 months of lying? He doesn't answer. She walks around him. He doesn't try to stop her this time. Nadia opens the door in sweatpants and an oversized Georgetown hoodie. Her expression shifts the moment she sees Lila's face. What happened? Can I stay here? Nadia pulls her inside. Always. What? I found Gabriel with another woman. They're engaged. Nadia's mouth opens. Closes. What? Lila sets her suitcase down. The weight of it, the reality of it, hits her all at once. Her knees weaken. Nadia catches her arm and guides her to the couch. Tell me everything. So she does. The reservation, the table, the ring, the congratulations, Gabriel's explanation about business and contracts and temporary arrangements. When she finishes, Nadia is silent for a long moment. Do you believe him? Nadia asks finally. About it being fake? I don't know. Lila presses her palms against her eyes. Does it matter? Real or fake, he's been lying to me for 6 months. Nadia gets up and returns with 2 wine glasses and a bottle. She pours without asking. Lila takes the glass, doesn't drink, just holds it. What are you going to do? Nadia asks. I don't know that either. Her phone buzzes. Another call from Gabriel. She declines it. 3 texts appear immediately after. Please come home. We need to talk. I love you. She turns the phone face down on the coffee table. You don't have to figure it out tonight, Nadia says quietly. Stay here as long as you need. Lila nods. The wine in her glass trembles slightly. She sets it down before she spills it. She doesn't sleep. The pull-out couch in Nadia's living room is comfortable enough, but every time she closes her eyes, she sees Gabriel's hand under the restaurant lighting, the woman's fingers on his, the ease between them. We're almost through it. She gets up at 5:30 and makes coffee. Nadia emerges at 6:15, already dressed for work. You're up early? Couldn't sleep. Nadia pours herself coffee and leans against the counter. Are you going to work today? Lila hasn't thought about work. She's supposed to be at the gallery by 9. There's a new installation going up. She's the one who scheduled the contractors. I have to. You don't have to do anything. I need to do something normal. Lila drinks her coffee even though it's too hot. I need to think about something else for a few hours. Nadia doesn't argue. The gallery is quiet when Lila arrives. The contractors aren't here yet. She unlocks the front door and disarms the security system. The space smells like fresh paint and wood stain. She walks through the main room, checking the lighting placements one more time. Everything is exactly where it should be, exactly as she planned it. Her phone buzzes. She pulls it out expecting Gabriel. It's an unknown number. She almost doesn't answer. But something makes her thumb move across the screen. Hello? Is this Lila Reeves? The voice is female, unfamiliar, professional. Yes. This is Stephanie Chen. I'm calling from Wells & Associates. We're a private investigation firm. I need to speak with you about your husband. Lila's hand tightens on the phone. Who gave you my number? I can't disclose that information over the phone, but I believe you were at Marcello's restaurant last night at approximately 7:45. The restaurant, table 5, the woman in the emerald dress. What do you want? To meet. Today, if possible. There are things you need to know about Gabriel Reeves. I don't. Please. The woman's voice shifts slightly, less professional, more urgent. I wouldn't be calling if it wasn't important. 1 hour. There's a coffee shop on 5th and Madison. Brewhouse, do you know it? Lila knows it. 3 blocks from the gallery. Why should I trust you? You shouldn't. But you should listen. 10 o'clock? Lila looks at the time. 8:17. Fine. The line goes dead. Brewhouse is busy when Lila arrives at 9:58. She orders a latte she doesn't want and sits at a table near the back window. A woman enters at exactly 10 o'clock. Blonde hair pulled into a neat bun, navy pantsuit. She scans the room and her eyes land on Lila immediately. She approaches the table. Lila Reeves. You're Stephanie Chen. I am. She sits without waiting for an invitation. She sets a leather portfolio on the table between them, but doesn't open it yet. Thank you for meeting me. You said you have information about my husband. I do. Stephanie folds her hands on top of the portfolio. I was hired 3 weeks ago to investigate Gabriel Reeves, financial dealings, business partnerships, personal relationships. Hired by who? I can't tell you that. Client confidentiality. Then why are you talking to me? Because what I found affects you directly, and because Stephanie pauses, chooses her words carefully. Because I believe you have a right to know what's happening before it's too late. Lila's stomach tightens. Too late for what? Stephanie opens the portfolio. She pulls out a photograph and slides it across the table. Gabriel. The woman from the restaurant. Different location, different day. They're standing outside a building Lila doesn't recognize. The woman has her hand on Gabriel's arm. He's smiling down at her. That's Veronica Castellano, Stephanie says, daughter of Antonio Castellano. He owns Castellano Development Group. I know. Gabriel told me. Stephanie's eyebrow lifts slightly. He told you about her? Last night. After I saw them together. He said it was a business arrangement. Fake engagement to secure a contract. Stephanie pulls out another photograph. This one shows Gabriel and Veronica entering a jewelry store. This was taken 4 months ago. 2 days later, he purchased an engagement ring for $73,000. Lila's throat goes dry. Another photograph. Gabriel and Veronica at what looks like a formal event. Her hand is on his chest. His arm is around her waist. This was 8 weeks ago. A charity gala. They were introduced as an engaged couple. Another photograph. Gabriel leaving an apartment building Lila doesn't recognize. It's early morning. He's wearing the same clothes from the day before. This was 2 weeks ago. Lila pushes the photographs away. Why are you showing me these? Because Gabriel Reeves isn't who you think he is. Stephanie pulls out a document. 3 months ago, he filed incorporation papers for a new company. Reeves Castellano Holdings. Joint venture with Antonio Castellano. But there's a clause in the partnership agreement. She slides the document across. Lila's eyes skim the text until she finds what Stephanie's highlighting with her finger. In the event of dissolution of familial bond between parties, all assets transfer to Castellano Development Group. Familial bond, Lila reads aloud. Marriage, Stephanie clarifies. If Gabriel and Veronica's marriage dissolves, Antonio Castellano gets everything. The company, the assets, the properties. All of it. But they're not married. Not yet. But the engagement was announced publicly 2 months ago. The wedding is scheduled for June, 4 months from now. Lila's head is spinning. He told me it was temporary. Paperwork. He lied. The words sit heavy between them. Stephanie pulls out one more photograph. This one is different. It's a document, a marriage license application. Gabriel's signature at the bottom. Date, 6 weeks ago. This was filed in Connecticut. They haven't completed it yet, but they will. Lila stares at the signature. Gabriel's handwriting. Distinctive, familiar. The same signature that's on their marriage certificate from 3 years ago. "This is bigamy," she says quietly. "Yes. He can't marry someone else while we're still married." "Technically, no. But people do it anyway. The Castellano family has resources. They could make your marriage disappear, or they could simply wait until you divorce him." Lila looks up sharply. "I'm not divorcing him. Aren't you?" The question hangs there. "I don't understand," Lila says finally. "If they have resources, why haven't they just paid off the contract or whatever? Why does Veronica need to marry him?" "Control." Stephanie leans back slightly. "Antonio Castellano doesn't trust easily. He's had business partners betray him before. This way, Gabriel becomes family. And if he tries to leave, he loses everything. So Gabriel's trapped. Or ambitious enough not to care." Lila picks up one of the photographs. The one of Gabriel leaving the apartment building at dawn. "Whose apartment is this?" "Veronica's." Something cold settles in Lila's chest. She sets the photo down. "You said you were hired 3 weeks ago." "By who?" Stephanie closes the portfolio. "I can't tell you that. Can't or won't. Both. Then why tell me any of this? What do you want from me?" "I don't want anything from you. I'm giving you information. What you do with it is your choice." Lila stands. The coffee she ordered is still sitting there, untouched and cold. "Thank you for the warning, but I don't know what you expect me to do with this." "That's up to you." Stephanie hands her a business card. Simple white cardstock, black text. "If you need to reach me." Lila takes the card, turns to leave. "Mrs. Reeves." She stops. "There's one more thing." Stephanie's voice is quieter now. "Gabriel took out a life insurance policy 3 months ago. $2 million. The beneficiary is Veronica Castellano. The words don't compute at first. Then they do. You think he's going to, I think you should be careful. Stephanie stands. And I think you should document everything. Just in case. Lila walks back to the gallery in a daze. The contractors are there now, lifting panels into place. She watches them work without really seeing them. Her phone buzzes. "Gabriel, please call me." She doesn't. Another buzz. A text from a number she doesn't recognize. "You met with the investigator. That was smart, but you don't have the full picture yet. Meet me tonight." 8 p.m. Corner of Lexington and 42nd. Come alone. Lila stares at the message. She doesn't respond. But she doesn't delete it either. She tells Nadia she's working late. It's not entirely a lie. She goes back to the gallery after dinner and pretends to review scheduling documents. At 7:30, she locks up and heads uptown. The corner of Lexington and 42nd is busy even at 8 p.m. Lila stands under a streetlight, hands in her coat pockets. A car pulls up. Black sedan, tinted windows. The back door opens. "Get in." The voice is male, older. She can't see his face. Every instinct tells her this is stupid, dangerous. But she gets in anyway. The door closes. The car pulls into traffic. The man sitting across from her is in his 60s, maybe. Silver hair, expensive suit. He's holding a glass of what looks like whiskey. "Mrs. Reeves, thank you for coming." "Who are you?" "Antonio Castellano." The name hits like cold water. Veronica's father, Gabriel's business partner, the man behind everything. "Why am I here?" Lila's voice is steadier than she feels. "Because we need to talk about your husband. I don't have anything to say to you. You met with my investigator this morning." Lila's mouth goes dry. "Your investigator?" "Stephanie Chen works for me, has for 5 years." Antonio sips his whiskey. I wanted you to know what Gabriel is planning, what he's been doing. Why? Because I'm not a fool, and I don't appreciate being played. The car turns onto a quieter street. Lila watches the buildings pass outside. Gabriel thinks he's clever. Antonio continues. He thinks he can marry my daughter, take control of my company, and then find a way out once he has what he wants. But I know men like him. I've dealt with them before. Then why are you partnering with him? Because he's good at what he does. And because Veronica wants him. Antonio's expression hardens slightly. My daughter is persistent. When she wants something, she doesn't stop until she gets it. Does she know about me? Yes. The confirmation stings more than Lila expected. Does Gabriel know you hired an investigator? No, and he won't. Not unless you tell him. Why are you telling me this? Antonio sets down his glass. Because I want you to understand something, Mrs. Reeves. Gabriel is making a choice. Every day he continues this arrangement, he's choosing my daughter over you. He's choosing money and power over his marriage. He told me it was business. Did he? Antonio's smile is cold. Then why did he take Veronica to Paris last month? Why did he spend Thanksgiving with my family instead of yours? Why did he sign a prenuptial agreement that gives him 50% of my company if the marriage lasts 10 years? Lila's hands are shaking. She folds them in her lap. What do you want from me? I want you to divorce him. The words are blunt, unambiguous. Why would I do that? Because if you don't, you'll have no legal standing when he remarries. You'll have no claim to his assets. And when this all falls apart, and it will, you'll be the one left with nothing. But if I divorce him, you'll get what you're entitled to now, before he moves everything into joint accounts with Veronica, before he signs away everything to protect himself. Antonio leans forward slightly. I'm offering you a way out, Mrs. Reeves, with compensation. $500,000, clean break. You file for divorce, and I make sure you're taken care of. $500,000, more money than Lila's ever seen. You're bribing me. I'm protecting my interests and giving you a chance to protect yours. The car stops. Lila looks out. They're back at Lexington and 42nd, the same corner where she got in. Think about it, Antonio says. You have my daughter's investigator's card. Call her when you've made a decision. The door opens. Cold air rushes in. Lila gets out. The door closes behind her. The car pulls away. She stands on the sidewalk for a long moment, watching the tail lights disappear into traffic. She doesn't go back to Nadia's apartment. She walks. 20 blocks. 30. She doesn't count. Her phone buzzes. Gabriel again. I know you're angry, but please, come home. Let's talk. She stops in front of a 24-hour diner, goes inside. Orders coffee she doesn't drink. The waitress refills it twice before Lila finally pulls out her phone and opens her messages. 17 from Gabriel. She doesn't read them. Instead, she scrolls back further, to 3 months ago, the week Gabriel said his ring was being resized. She finds a text from that Tuesday. Working late, big client meeting, don't wait up. Thursday, stuck in traffic, order dinner without me. Saturday, golf outing with Patterson, back by 6. She keeps scrolling. December, November, October. Every message is an excuse. Every explanation is a lie. Her coffee has gone cold again. She leaves cash on the table and walks out. The apartment is dark when she unlocks the door. For a moment, she thinks Gabriel isn't home. Then she sees him on the couch, laptop open on his knees, a drink beside him. He looks up when she enters. Relief floods his face. Lila, thank God. He closes the laptop and stands. I've been calling you. I know. He stops. Something in her voice makes him hesitate. Can we talk? He asks. Please? She sets her bag down, takes off her coat, hangs it carefully on the hook by the door. Who's Stephanie Chen? The question catches him off guard. She sees it in the slight widening of his eyes. Who? Stephanie Chen, private investigator, works for Antonio Castellano. Gabriel's face goes carefully neutral. I don't know who that is. She showed me photographs. You and Veronica. The jewelry store. The gala. Her apartment. Lila. She showed me the incorporation papers, the partnership agreement, the clause that says if your marriage to Veronica dissolves, Antonio gets everything. Gabriel sits back down. Slowly. He hired an investigator to watch you, to make sure you're serious about marrying his daughter. I am serious. About the business arrangement. Stop calling it that. Lila's voice rises slightly. She pulls it back down. You filed a marriage license application 6 weeks ago. That's not an arrangement. That's bigamy. Gabriel's jaw tightens. It's not finalized. Because you're still married to me. Yes. So what's your plan, Gabriel? Wait for me to divorce you? Or were you going to file for divorce yourself and pretend it was my idea? He doesn't answer immediately. When he does, his voice is quiet. I was going to tell you. When? When I figured out how. How to what? How to admit you've been lying to me for 6 months. How to explain that you bought another woman a $73,000 engagement ring. How to justify spending Thanksgiving with her family while telling me you were on a business trip. Gabriel's hands curl into fists. It's not what it looks like. Then what is it? He stands, paces to the window, stands with his back to her. I needed this deal. The company was failing. We were drowning in debt. Antonio's partnership was the only way out. So you proposed to his daughter. She proposed. I just didn't say no. Lila laughs. It sounds broken. You didn't say no for 6 months. I thought I could manage it. I thought I could keep it separate. Business here, personal there. But you couldn't. No, because you're sleeping with her. Gabriel's shoulders tense. He doesn't turn around. Once. It happened once. Which time? The apartment? Paris? Or are there others you haven't mentioned yet? He turns. His face is pale. Paris was business. With her, yes. While you told me you were at a conference in Seattle, I know how it sounds. How it sounds. Lila's voice breaks. How it sounds is that you've been living a double life. How it sounds is that you've been choosing her over me every single day for 6 months. I was choosing us. I was trying to save what we built. By destroying it? She grabs her purse, pulls out Stephanie Chen's business card, throws it at him. It flutters to the floor between them. Antonio offered me $500,000 to divorce you. Did you know that? Gabriel's face goes white. What? He wants me gone. Before you marry his daughter. Before I become a legal problem, he's protecting his investment. You can't what? Can't take it? Can't divorce you? She steps closer. Give me one reason why I shouldn't. Because I love you. The words should mean something. A month ago they would have. Now they just sound empty. Love isn't enough, Gabriel. It's all I have. You have Veronica. You have Antonio's company. You have a prenup that gives you 50% if the marriage lasts 10 years. You have everything. I don't want any of that without you. Then why did you choose it? He doesn't have an answer. Lila picks up her coat, her bag. Gabriel moves to stop her. She holds up her hand. Don't. Where are you going? I don't know, but I can't be here. Lila, please, tell me the truth. Just once. Are you going to marry her? The pause is too long. I don't know, he says finally. That's answer enough. She walks out. This time he doesn't follow. Nadia is already asleep when Lila gets back. She lets herself in quietly and sits on the pull-out couch in the dark. Her phone lights up. Not Gabriel this time. Unknown number. You left before we could finish talking. There's more you need to know. Tomorrow. Same place. Noon. She should delete it. Block the number. But she doesn't. The black sedan is waiting when Lila arrives at Lexington and 42nd the next day. The door opens before she reaches it. Antonio Castellano looks exactly the same. Silver hair, expensive suit, glass of whiskey. You came back. You said there's more I need to know. There is. He gestures to the seat across from him. She gets in. The car pulls into traffic. Gabriel told you about the partnership, Antonio says. Did he tell you how it started? No. He came to me 8 months ago, said his company was bankrupt, said he needed capital. Said he'd do anything. Antonio swirls his whiskey. I told him I didn't invest in desperate men, but Veronica was there that day. She saw him, and she wanted him. So you used her. I gave her what she wanted, and I got a business partner who would be loyal because he had no choice. Sounds more like blackmail. Sounds like business. Antonio sets down his glass. But here's what Gabriel didn't tell you. The partnership wasn't his only option. He had other offers. Better offers. Companies willing to invest without strings attached. Lila's stomach drops. Why didn't he take them? Because those companies wanted partial ownership. They wanted seats on the board. They wanted control. Antonio's eyes are sharp. Gabriel didn't want partners. He wanted money. My deal gave him that. All he had to do was marry Veronica and wait 10 years. Then he'd own half of everything I've built? So he chose greed. He chose ambition. Is that so different? Lila doesn't answer. But here's what you don't know, Antonio continues. 3 weeks ago, Gabriel tried to renegotiate. He wanted the marriage clause removed, said he'd made a mistake, said he wanted out. What did you say? I said no. We have a contract. He signed it, and Veronica has already started planning the wedding. Antonio leans back. But Gabriel's not a quitter, so he came up with a new plan. What plan? Antonio pulls out a folder, opens it, shows her a document. Life insurance policy. $2 million. Beneficiary. Veronica Castellano. He showed Veronica this policy 3 weeks ago, Antonio says, told her it was proof of his commitment. Proof that he was serious about their future together. But it's not. No, it's a safety net. If something happens to him, Veronica gets the payout. And Gabriel's company, separate from our partnership, goes to his next of kin. Me. Yes. But here's the thing, Mrs. Reeves. That policy has a suicide clause. If Gabriel dies by his own hand within 2 years of the policy's start date, the payout is void. Lila's blood goes cold. You think he's planning to... I think he's planning something. I don't know what. But men don't take out $2 million policies and then try to back out of wedding engagements unless they're desperate. The car stops. Lila looks out. They're not at Lexington and 42nd. They're in front of a building she doesn't recognize. Where are we? Veronica's apartment. Lila turns sharply. Why? Because she asked to meet you. Before Lila can protest, the door opens. A woman in a camel coat is standing on the sidewalk. Veronica Castellano. Dark hair, perfect posture. The same woman from the restaurant. Mrs. Reeves, she says. Her voice is calm, controlled. Thank you for coming. Antonio gets out of the car. I'll give you two some privacy. He walks away. Veronica slides into the seat beside Lila. The door closes. They sit in silence for a moment. I wanted to meet you, Veronica says finally. The real you. Not the idea Gabriel's constructed. Why? Because I wanted to see if you knew. Knew what? Veronica turns to face her. That Gabriel married me 2 weeks ago. The world stops. What? Veronica pulls out her phone, opens a photo, shows it to Lila. It's a marriage certificate, dated 12 days ago, Connecticut. Gabriel's signature, Veronica's signature. Lila can't breathe. It's not legal, Veronica says quietly. He's still married to you, but he did it anyway. Told me you'd signed divorce papers, that it was finalized. I didn't. I know that now. Veronica closes her phone. My father found out 3 days ago. That's when he hired the investigator, not to watch Gabriel, to prove what he'd done. Why are you telling me this? Because I'm not the villain in this story. Veronica's voice is steady, almost kind. I thought I was marrying a divorced man. I thought I was building a life with someone who wanted to be with me. But Gabriel lied. To both of us. Lila's hands are shaking. He committed bigamy. Yes. You could have him arrested. I could. But I'm not going to. Why not? Because my father and I have a different plan. Veronica reaches into her coat and pulls out another document. This is an annulment. The marriage can be voided based on fraud. Gabriel lied about his marital status. That's grounds for invalidation. She hands the document to Lila. It's already filled out. Only needs a signature. Why give this to me? Because you're the one with the power here. You're the legal wife. You can file for divorce and take him for everything he has. Or you can let him fall into my father's trap and watch him lose it all anyway. Veronica's expression doesn't change. But if you sign this annulment, we can end it quietly. Gabriel's partnership with my father dissolves. He gets nothing. And you get to walk away without a legal battle. And you? I get my life back. And a reminder not to trust men who seem too perfect. Lila stares at the document. What does your father get? His company, intact, without a bigamist at the helm. And Gabriel gets what he deserves. Lila doesn't sign it. Not right away. She takes the document and leaves. She goes back to the gallery, sits in her office, stares at the annulment papers. Her phone buzzes. Gabriel. We need to talk. It's important. She doesn't respond. Another buzz. I know about Veronica. I know what she told you. Lila picks up the phone, types back. You married her. 3 dots appear, disappear, appear again. I can explain. Don't bother. I'm done. She blocks his number. Then she pulls out Stephanie Chen's card and makes a call. The lawyer's office is quiet. Stephanie Chen sits across from Lila, a stack of documents between them. You're sure about this? Stephanie asks. Yes. No reconciliation. No second chances. He had 6 months of chances. Stephanie nods, pushes the documents forward. Then let's get started. The divorce filing hits Gabriel 2 days later. Lila knows because Nadia tells her he showed up at the gallery. Security didn't let him pass the front desk. Veronica files the annulment the same day. Antonio Castellano releases a statement ending the partnership. Gabriel's company declares bankruptcy a week later. The settlement takes 3 months. Lila gets the apartment, half of Gabriel's remaining assets, and enough money to take 6 months off work. She doesn't take Antonio's $500,000. Doesn't need it. On the day the divorce is finalized, Lila goes to Marcello's. She doesn't have a reservation, but the hostess finds her a table. Not table 5. She doesn't ask for that one. She orders wine. The same bottle Gabriel had that night. She drinks it slowly. When the waiter comes to take her order, she asks for the chef's tasting menu. Dining alone tonight? He asks. Yes. He doesn't ask if she's waiting for someone. doesn't offer sympathy or assumptions. He just brings the first course. Lila eats slowly, tastes everything, notices everything. When she's finished, she pays the bill, leaves a good tip, walks out into the cool evening air. Her phone is in her purse, silent. No messages from Gabriel, no calls from lawyers, no texts from investigators, just her name on the screen. Lila Reeves. Not Lila and Gabriel, just Lila. She starts walking. Not toward Nadia's apartment, not toward anywhere specific, just forward. If this story resonated with you, if you felt the shock, the betrayal, the quiet strength it takes to walk away, then this channel needs your support. Subscribe to see more stories about people finding their power in impossible moments, like if you've ever had to choose yourself over someone you loved. And comment, what would you have done in Lila's place? Your story might be next,